Yeah. H.E. Solder, that Willis pick was still a bad throw. Completely agree. That was the back-to-back inaccurate throws I talked about. He had a horrible throw the first rep or the first play right before that, and then he throws that deep shot, overthrows the guy. It's still getting a -2 whether it should have been an interception or not on the field. There's no doubt about that. Completely agree with you there, man. Go ahead, man.
What Enger thinks on X. He said, on what platform are people watching live and asking questions? It's not X, not Rumble. It is a YouTube. I don't see any chat activity. Yeah, so the chat activity that's going crazy with you see the red plus there? That's the YouTube chat. You can chat here like on X, and we'll pull it up. That's not a problem. There's just not as much activity in the chat on X versus YouTube where you can get all that. Then go ahead and sub and subscribe while you're in there.
Yeah, what we always tell people, what Enger thinks. I'm curious to see what Enger thinks. You see what we always tell people is if you're watching on X, it's a way better experience to watch on YouTube. So if you just hop over and just search Packer Fan Total Access on YouTube, you can sub and all that. And yeah, it's you can kind of see the entire YouTube chat on there. And it's a pretty interactive community, man. These guys and gals are awesome in here, but we appreciate you being interested in tuning in on X, man. That's why we go live on X too. Some people prefer that, and you're welcome to stay there if you'd like. All right, so back to the notes. There was a 61-yard run, right, by Seattle, blown gap assignment. I couldn't tell who blew that gap. If anybody knows, let me know. But that was more, for me, it was more of a mental mistake than, boy, we're getting overpowered here. That was really one of the only plays where I felt like, dang, I mean, it was negative Malik Willis, positive, like, I don't know, something like 22 positive marks, the negative for the 61-yard run, and then we're right back in the positive. But Brenton Cox Jr. with a run stop, great edge set. Amelia, I don't know if I've seen an edge defender improve his run stopping ability more than Brenton Cox Jr. Over the last year and a half, he went from someone where I remember going, Jacob, I know you like him, dude, but he is so unreliable in the run game. He just plays out of control. This dude, he's not it. And he came back the next year and he fixed it. And he looked great at setting the edge today.
He did, and you saw him, the explosiveness he has, the strength he has. Did you see him, blow up the tackle, get his hands off of him, then re-engage the tackle, shed real quick, keep outside leverage, and you blow up the play. You blow up the stretch play. Great hustle by the corner there. I want to say it was 37. I forgot his name. And he ran that run down, and that's why you don't give up on the play. That's why you hustle. That kept them scoreless. Going into, that's a hustle play on defense. Yeah, maybe it was a blown coverage, but you still get a +2 there for digging all the way out. I'm pretty sure he was on the backside completely. Run him all the way down and save a touchdown.
Yeah, and then we had the Kalen King run stuff, man. Did a great job. It was a design quarterback run. He did a great job filling the outside and making a stop on that play. Deslin Alexander, Emilio, that dude was everywhere today, both special teams. And he batted a pass down on 4th down, if you remember that play, just having the wherewithal of, okay, this is a quick set pass, get your hands up. Did a really good job with that. Isaiah Simmons had some good and some bad. He had a great tackle on a short pass. He actually, one of the only times this preseason I thought he looked aggressive. Overall, I think he just kind of had an average day. My opinion of him didn't change. I still feel like Christian Welch deserves a roster spot more than Isaiah Simmons. I'm not saying that's what the Packers are going to do. That's just my personal opinion on that. And then Brinson with the 4th down pressure, Cox forced the cutback, and then Hopper made the tackle. I mean, it was just Brinson immediately blowing the play up. Jalen Milroe scrambles right. Brenton Cox Jr. takes a perfect angle, plays it safe, cuts him off. He cuts back, and there's Tyron Hopper to get the stop. Tyron Hopper, man, he better be the third linebacker in this defense. He's shown me enough that he should be on the field in that base 4-3, man.
Absolutely. He is a dog. Put on some weight, gotten better, understands the defense, can make calls, comes downhill. You saw him punch out the ball once, twice. He's not afraid to stick his nose in there. He's kind of on his toes when he's at the backer position, not afraid to really engage, get downhill quickly. And, yeah, I think – I'm almost to the point of, maybe we only carry 4 linebackers, free up a spot somewhere else, try to slide Welch and Simmons onto the practice squad, and then go from there. I feel, I'm comfortable with Quay, Cooper, McDuffie, and Hopper we've just had questions everywhere else. Maybe we try to sneak those two onto the practice squad, carry another dude we wanted on, and then we'll address that when we come to it.
Yeah, and I can understand the case for both Simmons and Welch. I get it. I wouldn't be upset if they kept Simmons over Welch. To me, Simmons, it looks like he is so hesitant to attack the football. It's just, it kind of feels like Quay the last couple of years, which, by the way, Quay, I know it was minimal snaps, but it looks like that might be out of his system. If he continues to play the way he did today, man, we're off and running there. Welch finished with 4 tackles and had a tackle for a loss. Here's a perfect example. You look at the stat line, Isaiah Simmons, 7 tackles, right? 7 solo tackles. How many times did we see him chasing the play down the field? How many times did we see him kind of, 2 or 3 steps, set up, the running back or the ball carrier is still 4 yards away, and he allows the carrier to get to him, and then he makes the tackle. He obviously did not have any tackles for a loss there as well. H.E. Soder with the super chat. Thank you so much, buddy. When they ran Brinson and Stackhouse together, the middle of the D was kind of ugly. Likely will not see the combo in the regular season. I feel like Stackhouse has kind of dwindled the last couple of weeks. I don't know how you feel, Emilio, but Brinson's stock is going through the roof. Mm-hmm. That dude is so quick off the snap. I was messaging and texting with DJ during the game, John's son, and man, he was like, Brinson looks quick. He is so quick off the snap, man. I think Brinson, I now understand why they took him before they took Stackhouse. Early on, I was kind of like, they don't make a – now I get it. Brinson looks like he could be a dog. He does, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's – now that we look back at it, Goody, tip of your hat, I mean, that's probably why you drafted him first, right? Obviously, it was nice to be able to bring Stackhouse in and add to it, but – you relied on your numbers, on your scouts, on everything else. That's why we picked Brinson, and he's kind of showed up. And Wooden showed out really well. But I think that combo with both of them on there, they're just a little too loose, a little too new, raw, whatever, for that defense to kind of hold down the middle. So you are going to need a veteran in there at some point. But I'm leaning towards Brinson at this point, and Stackhouse. Hopefully we can sneak him on. Because, right, anybody that doesn't make the 53, Clay, another team has to take from our, free picks or whatever, whoever didn't make our roster, they have to take them and sign them to their active roster, or do they can only sign under the practice squad?
Yeah, so the way it works is everybody sets their 53. There's a 24-hour period, and then anyone you have 24 hours to sign those players to your active 53-man roster. That's the way that works. So you can't go poach someone off of someone else's practice squad, put them on your practice squad. You have to add them to your 53-man roster. And once the season starts, there's a certain amount of time they have to be on your 53-man roster as well. So that's
where it's like, I think you can sneak some of these guys. I think you can get away. It's like, another team going to really come and put Stackhouse on their roster? Like, maybe if they're desperate, but you might be able to sneak away one of these wide receivers. I mean, there are definitely other options out there.
It's one of those things where not only are, we're sitting here just looking at it through the Packers' eyes, through Packer fans' eyes. Like, okay, will somebody pick up Stackhouse if you don't put him on 53? When other teams are, and Matt talked about this in the presser at the end of the game there, teams along with the Packers are looking, going, okay, when the cuts happen and you got that 24-hour period, everybody combs through those cuts. And the first thing they do, Emilio, is they pull that draft board out and go, what kind of draft grade do we have on him? Okay, we actually there may be another defensive tackle that gets cut by another team and he has to clear waivers. And the Packers look at him and go, damn, we had a 7th-round grade on Stackhouse, even though he went undrafted. And this guy, we had a 5th-round grade on or a 6th-round grade on. They're going to prioritize him over Stackhouse. Mm-hmm. Again, if Stackhouse had continued the momentum he had early on, I would feel much better about him making the 53. He still may make the 53. Don't get me wrong. He had a good camp. It's just I don't think he's nowhere near where Brinson is right now. And I understand there are some people that are saying, well, Stackhouse is a nose tackle. He's a nose tackle. He's a nose tackle. He is. How often do you need a nose tackle when you're in the nickel 4-2-5, 70% of the time? You know what I'm saying? You need him in your base 4-3, don't get me wrong. But when you're in your base 4-3, Kenny is typically your nose. He was the one who played one tech last year. So think of your base 4-3. Your 2 defensive tackles are going to be Kenny in the 1 and Wyatt in the 3. In what scenario do you foresee you putting Stackhouse in the 1 and Kenny at the 3 and taking Wyatt off the field? You know what I'm saying? You just hit him with the fifth-year option, so you obviously see him as a true starter. So all those things together is what's got me leaning toward Stackhouse to the practice squad. And then you could call him up if you get a little banged up, or let's say you play the 49ers one week and they want to run a little bit more 21 or 22 personnel where you got to go a little heavier. Call him up in the practice squad. There's your nose tackle. And you can come with a jam front and approach it that way then, right? So Gaylord with the super chat. Thank you, buddy. He says, thanks, guys. I support on Patreon, but here's a little extra for helping me find the chatter. Hey, thank you so much for the extra support there, Gaylord. We appreciate you, buddy.
Absolutely appreciate that. But that's the other thing, Clay, is 53. We're cutting ours down to 53. That means we would have to cut it down to 51, 52, 51 if we want to sign somebody else that they had cut to get him onto our 53. We're already having a hard enough time getting it down to 53, let alone creating an extra spot for somebody to bring in, that to sign on top of that.
Right. Holmes MD1 says, guys, I don't think Kenny will play the run like Slayton did. Stack can, in my opinion. Could not disagree more, Holmes. Kenny was our best run defending defensive tackle last year. Okay. So when you take that into consideration and say, okay, if Kenny has the highest run stop ratio of any of our defensive tackles, there's no way you're going to convince me that an undrafted free agent in Stackhouse is going to play the run better than Kenny. And that was also with Kenny playing with a bum foot all year long, right? Yep. And you guys know I did not approve of the Kenny Clark contract extension to the level in which they paid him. But I say that because I'm not the biggest Kenny Clark fan. But, man, I can't put Stackhouse's run defense over Kenny Clark's when we've only seen him in 2 or 3 preseason games in one camp. Kenny was a dog against the run last year. They literally decided as a unit, as a team, as a defense that, hey, Kenny, we know your foot's banged up. You can't rush the quarterback. We're gonna isolate you. We're gonna designate you, I should say, as our one tech to occupy a double team and help stop the run. Don't worry about trying to get upfield. Hold the point of attack. Tackle the ball carrier. That's what he did last year. And again, you look at what we did as a run defense last year. We were, second in yards per carry allowed. So I respectfully disagree there, Holmes. Don't mean to, to try to run your opinion in the mud. Don't take it the wrong way. I'm simply saying Kenny Clark is stout attack. You never. One thing you say about Kenny, you never see Kenny get blown off the ball, even with a double team. It just does not happen.
No. And Coach asked this question earlier, then followed it up by saying, he still would rather have Wooden backing up Kenny over Stack, but do you think we can sneak Wooden onto the practice squad? I just don't. I think where we had him drafted, I think he's going to have kind of a high grade for someone. I think that they would have a need at DT for someone like Wooden, who's actually been through a couple of off seasons, gotten bigger, put weight on each year. I mean, the dude has grown. I think he's definitely gotten better.
And I'm not real big on Kobe Wooden, but I'm with you. I think a team will swoop in there and grab him. There's just too much tape out there.
Yeah, I feel like it could be like a Jaron Reed sort of thing from Seattle, like that kind of an idea. Maybe not a big name, but a guy that somebody would take a flyer on and bring onto the roster because he's young, he's put on weight, he's got some talent. That's kind of where I thought we'd be. Michael A. Smith, not to be confused with Stephen A. Smith. Our defense with 4 fumbles and 5 sacks, to me, shows we don't have to give up multiple draft picks and a player for any edge player from another team.
Who could you possibly be talking about, Mike? I'm still blown away by that, by the way. There are fans out there that would be willing to give up 2 first-round picks. Did y'all see that picture of him at the last preseason game where he was asleep on the trainer's table while the game was going on? Yeah, he was just over there just kind of lounged out during the preseason game. It's like, I know you don't want to be a Cowboy. I get it, but what organization looks at that and goes, "We'll sell the farm for that"?
Yeah.
And by the way, you got to put up with the podcast and him making little subtle jabs at teammates. And listen, I'm not trying to make Jerry Jones out to be a great person or a great owner. Don't get me wrong, but Micah Parsons isn't squeaky clean in this whole situation either. And if the Packers traded for him, I told you guys I give up a first and a third for him. I wouldn't have a problem with that. I wouldn't be like over the moon begging them to do it, but I could see it being worth giving up a first-round pick and a third-round pick. $41 million, man. Ooh-wee, dude. Mm-hmm. And Gary, I'm telling you, dude, I think Gary's really going to have a good year this year. It's either going to be Gary or LVN. One of those two, Emilio, they're going to pop this year. I wouldn't be surprised if it's LVN over Gary, and they'll put Gary in a situation where he can continue to play the run and then have LVN in a spot schematically to where, okay, they like to run a lot of strong sets. Let's make sure Gary's on the strong side so LVN can eat in the pass on the backside, right? And if you got a team that runs a lot of weak side runs, maybe put Gary on the weak side strategically and have LVN on the strong side. That way, you're forcing them to play left-handed, or they're going to go in with their normal game plan and they're going to be running right into the teeth of the run defense, which is Rashawn Gary, essentially. Solder with the super chat. Interesting that Brooks was in for Clark off the bench today. Wooden feeling like the odd man out. Yeah. Again, man, I feel like I'm the only Packer fan that feels like this, but Wooden to me seems like the odd man out. Like when I mention that, people are like, no, he's been playing great. And I'm like, I don't see it. I don't see it. Maybe he's a trade candidate too. Who knows, man? That's the other thing. We might get a trade or two before the deadline here as well. So just to keep an eye on. What do you think about it, Emilio?
I don't know. I think Wooden's kind of hammered in a spot for himself. I think he really has. I feel like it's kind of like the Sean Ryan of the defense, where he came out a little bit flat to begin with, was a little skinny, a little small. Okay, put in work the first year, second year. All right, getting a little bit. I've seen you making some progress in there. You're sticking your nose in there. Now he almost seems like he doesn't get. I mean, he gets pushed off the ball a little bit, but he's so much better at sticking his ground. Kind of stays a little bit wider, holds his base real well. I think that honestly, I think he came in second for Wyatt, right? Did Wyatt play? No. But I think Wooden's the second, kind of right behind Wyatt if we're on rotations there.
Which, by the way, I like how they approach that, right? Don't play Kenny, don't play Wyatt, and let these young defensive tackles kind of go at it today, right?
Which we needed to see reps, and you got to see a lot of the guys farther down the roster getting those reps inside.
I love this. We're an hour into the show. You guys know what we talked about earlier, Elgers and McClifford, right? And thank you, Soda, for the super chat. Cheesehead Murph jumps in and just says, I was wrong about Elgers. McClifford's gone. So there you go. Another one that thinks Elgers is the guy for sure. So, man, I'm telling you, his flashes look good, Murph. They do, man. He's got a strong arm. He's a lot of fun to watch. Let's go back to the go ahead. I'm sorry, man. What you got?
Oh, you're good. I was going to say same here earlier, GarageBand and Grandmasters. He said, I just joined. Not sure where we are, but I hate saying this. The Canadian has to stay.
Yeah, so he's won everybody over, it looks like, for sure. All right, back to the notes here. Anthony Belton, false start. I felt like both tackles had a false start, which made me think, was it Lasita Smith that was playing the center position at the time, I believe, when they get that false start? Yeah. When you get two tackles moved at the same time, the ball snapped late, it kind of makes you think probably was the center, even though the penalty's going to go on a tackle. Maybe I'm making excuses for Belton. I don't know. Was that the only penalty he had that you remember, Emilio? I can't remember.
Yes, yeah. Belton only had the one penalty from what I remember.
That one seemed a little weird to me.
Was that one when Matt came over and talked to him after the fact and was kind of, coaching him up and stuff?
Yep.
Okay. And I mean, hey, from 5 down to 1, I'll take that. That's improvement. Let's get that 1 down to none. But giving him a shot out there. You saw him at right tackle. He's got a really quick first step. Sometimes it's just engaging and closing on the depth of some of those DNs where maybe his pass protection needs a little work. But, man, he can close down on a guy and wash down the side of an offensive line for sure.
Yeah. Let's see what Stacey Mitchell said something here about Micah. I don't want the drama that comes with Micah. Sorry, but football is a team sport. I think that's a real thing. I do. Now, the beautiful thing about the Packers is we got a strong locker room. When Micah Parsons walks into that locker room, I say it like they're going to trade for him. We know there's like a 3% chance this happens, right? Yeah. But let's say they do trade for Micah Parsons. He walks in that locker room with that chest out. He's got to look across that locker room, and who does he see? He sees Big E, right? He sees Elton Jenkins. He sees Zach Tom, Mr. Fisticuffs himself. He sees Rashawn Gary, right, who's going to be playing – he'd be playing opposite of. He's going to see Kenny Clark, the quiet lion in there. He ain't going to come in there acting like a fool. It just ain't going to happen, you know? Mm-hmm. And
you do that, you're going to have to
sit your butt outside.
That's exactly right. I was thinking more along these lines. You come in there thinking you're going to run the show in Green Bay when you got these leaders that have played together, they've bled, they've sweated together for years.
You do that, you're going to get your ass kicked in that.
I'm telling you right now. And I know Mike's a freak and everything, but he's a little light in the britches compared to some of them big boys in in the locker room. You don't believe me? Go back and watch Aaron Jones smack him in the chest in that playoff game. And literally Micah Parsons double over from little bitty Aaron Jones just punching him right in the mouth.
Yeah.
So
why not?
Yeah, and I've had several Cowboy fans, have a conversation with them online, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm a Cowboys fan, and I'm hoping they trade Micah. He's too much trouble. It's not worth it. He doesn't. They said he takes plays off, that type of stuff. He's not a great run defender. That's Cowboy fans talking about. Now they may be a little sour on the fact that he wants out of Dallas. I get that. I think he's a great player, and I could justify giving up a first and a third for him. The part that I continue to struggle with is that $41 million. Like to have to pay him $41 million per, over $100 million guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing too: you've got other players in that locker room that are looking for their contract, and they've been a part of the team and they've been doing everything they're supposed to do. Now this guy, crybabies his way out of another city, comes in, you throw the bag at them. If you think for 1 second that the rest of that team, that there's not going to be a good portion of that team that goes, hey, that ain't right. He ain't done a damn thing for the Green Bay Packers, right? I've been out here busting my butt, fighting back to get back from injury, this, that, and the other thing. I think that's a real thing, Stacey. So
Stacey followed it up saying that Micah will get this strap in Green Bay.
There you go.
I'm telling you.
I love that left cheek on Matt LaFleur. It looks like there's a tear rolling down. Like this is gonna hurt me more than it hurts you.
Absolutely. And just don't forget, Whiskey 61, even though he's on the IR, Glover will still be in that locker room. He as well can swing the strap.
All right, back to the notes. McManus, what else is there to say, man? That dude's just awesome. That 52-yarder he hit, he knocked the absolute crap out of that ball, dude. He just looks like he's so zeroed in. Oh, man, I'm so glad he's the Packers kicker. Oladapo, I had a missed tackle on him. How do you feel like he played today? Because that's the only thing I had in the notes was that one missed tackle from Oladapo. It was a throw underneath. He had a chance to stop it for like a 1 or a 2 yard gain, and he kind of whiffed on the tackle.
Yeah.
He went outside, and the guy just cut back in. I don't know. It might have been one of those things they wanted him to play that outside in. Yeah. But how did you feel about Oladapo? Did you get a good look or no?
That one missed tackle is tough, right? But I do love the approach of going outside in, forcing him back to where your help is. Yeah, you didn't make the tackle. I would have loved, you stop it. That's where you hop up, you get hype, and you're selling. But besides that, I like that he is the go-to if X isn't there, obviously without Zane. But you had Evan and Oladapo out there with Bullard in the slot. That's not a bad secondary if an injury ever occurs in season. I'm not mad at him because he's super smart. I mean, even with that missed tackle, where was he? Right there on the guy ready to make the play. He knows where to be. He's not crazy out of position. Even that, the other game when you were kind of hard on him, right? Where he got that ball thrown over his shoulder, right, Clay? Hey, yep. Man, just at least he's there. He was punching. Yeah, it got caught, but it feels like he's always in the right spot. Him and Kalen King. I think Kalen King definitely had a better game than Oladapo, but they both are, 2 years in at this point, knowing what's going on, knowing where to be, knowing how to play the defense, and I think that's going to be beneficial in season.
Yeah. Deslin Alexander, we talked about earlier, he had a batted pass on fourth down. Come back later in the game, he actually sacks Milroe on a third down scramble. So there you got two crucial plays. Like if we were doing Chalk Talk, in a normal version of Chalk Talk, we break down the most important plays, he would be on two different plays. That's significant. That's a fourth down, batting the ball down. That ends the drive, and a third down scramble, making the tackle that gets the stop. He had a really, really good game. If it's something that the Packers try to pass him in the practice squad, there's a little bit of tape out there on him, something not swoop in and grab him there a little lot at edge defender for sure. Malik Heath, very next note. After that, I think it's the next time we score and then we kick off. On kickoff coverage, Malik Heath comes in, lays the boom on a kick returner, and Deslin Alexander comes in and finishes it up. Two plays right there, back to back, essentially on my notes for Deslin Alexander. Again, if you're going to make an extra edge defender worthy of making a 53-man roster, you got to have special teams. He was.
Yeah, Clay, I wasn't sure if it was just me hearing it, but Jen said your audio is a little weird. It's kind of doing that thing where it gets like it's sounds a little cloudy.
Got it. My bad.
No, you're good. There you go. You're back. We might just need to upgrade the mic here shortly. think it's been
About that time.
yeah. She's gotten a lot of burn, that's for sure. She's gotten some run. But yeah, oh boy, there it is. There's it all's rolling in now in the chest. So yeah, no, I know what you mean, man. Malik Heath did he came down there and made that play on special team. He is not afraid to stick his nose in there as a wide receiver. And that's where you kind of get that Bo mentality where he can play it both ways. But yeah, I do think that the way he's been playing, man, Malik gets a shot, and yeah, Desmond Alexander getting down there. Just love the effort.
This $50 snowball, man, I'm gonna get a refund on it.
Yeah, you're good now. Sometimes it just goes cloudy where it just sounds like you're like underwater almost, and then it comes back.
What it is, it's every time I look away to my notes is what it is. That's completely honest. User error, although we will blame the snowball.
Oh, for sure.
So Aaron Mosby chasing down a backside tackle, really good play there. Kamal Haddon, third down pass breakup. Kamal Haddon, that was a good little rebound play. I don't think he's done enough to make the roster, don't get me wrong. Kalen King, on the other hand, talking with the gags. Unbelievable. What's this? Got more mileage than mom's friend. All right. It is back now, though, right? We're good?
Yeah. No, we're good. All
right. Good deal. Wrapping up here, Isaiah Simmons, horrible run fit on a quarterback run. Again, man, I just have more negative than anything for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Touchdown pass allowed. Ballantyne was underneath. Kamal Haddon over the top. And they just, it was like Ballantyne didn't get deep enough. Haddon, I don't know what you're waiting on, Bub. You're standing in the end zone like they've got to go through the back of the end zone before they get 6 points. So Haddon's still looking kind of rough to me. And then Aaron Mosby with the fumble recovery there at the end, albeit it was a botched snap. So those are my notes. Again, I didn't expect anybody to come out from the back of the pack here and just run away with a roster spot. But I do feel like some people kind of solidified the way we felt about them going into this game. H.E. Soda with the super chat. Kudos to the Seattle for force feeding Milroe for 4 quarters. It was an interesting thing that when was the last time you seen a team play a quarterback for the entire 4 quarters? In the preseason like that. I don't think I've ever seen that, man.
No, not too often. You're trying to get reps going around, but that's when you bring in 2 guys that are going to be one's definitely going to be a backup and then one is going to be your starter, why not get the rookie that is the guy that can run like crazy but needs help in the passing game? Why not give him as many reps as possible? You get to see just a little bit of everything, put him in a bunch of different situations, because you're not going to be doing that too often in season. I can see him getting some some gadget plays where he's maybe at quarterback, couple power reads or, read option, something like that on a 3rd and short. But besides that, he's not going to get too many passing plays. I wouldn't think, let's coach him up, learn from this tape and go from there during the season.
Got it. Jen Wright said number 48, Johnson. I think she's talking about Dumas Johnson.
Yeah.
Looked like he was everywhere. I didn't have him in the notes at all, but I do remember hearing Kevin Harlan call his name out a few times.
Yeah.
Do you feel like he did enough to make the practice squad, Amelia?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. He broke on that one ball, almost had that pick, kind of got into his chest a little bit too much. And, Ron Sandville here, Johnson was wearing the dot with the 3s. I did see that. So he was making calls. He was making calls when the 3s were out there. I think it's a good shot for a guy to make the practice squad, having a backup. And that's where it's like, okay, we have 4 backers we're solid on. What are we doing with Simmons and Welch? And then from there, we do have a little bit of backup. I'm glad we have a little backlog there at backer. You may need to bring one of these guys up here to fill some special teams role throughout the year.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so that's pretty much all we got in the notes. I want to mention this since we were talking backer. Rob Domofsky tweeted out a quote from Matt LaFleur, more from LaFleur on Tyron Hopper. He said, I would say he's one of our most improved players from a year ago. I think he's done an outstanding job.
Yeah.
So I know we, as a fan base, we like to dog on PFF from time to time. You guys know my main gripe is give us a timestamp. Let us know what plays you're grading what. They won't do it. Not that they even know who I am as a human being. But this is another one of those examples, though. They've graded Tyron Hopper extremely high, and Matt LaFleur is pretty much signing off on it, going, this dude has been one of the most improved players. God, I want him to be that 3rd linebacker so bad, man. And LaFleur also said if Jordan Love's thumb is able to take some snaps, they would practice Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday this coming week. So might get a little inside glimpse on how well Jordan Love may or may not be healing there in terms of his thumb as early as Tuesday for practice. Now, listen, if he can't practice Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday this week, I'm not freaking out. I expect it to be the following week before he can get back to practice. Just having stitches taken out, obviously, today. So, Stacy Mitchell asks, is the final 53-man roster cuts this Tuesday? That is correct. Tuesday, 8/26. That's August 26th. I think they said 4 p.m. Eastern time. Everything has to be wrapped up. Now, you guys know early that day, typically, a lot of stuff starts leaking out. And what happens is agents, as soon as the player is as soon as they're notified, hey, we're going to let you go, right? When that happens, typically the agents will leak it out to an insider that, hey, the Packers have informed so-and-so he's going to be let go, and they're interested in bringing him back on the practice squad. That's so they can get those names out there as quick as possible, right? The agents want to get the names out there so other teams know, oh, we liked him in the draft. Let's get him signed
right.
Off waivers. So let's hit let's do a rapid fire here on the rest of the box score here, Emilio. So running backs, right? Running game. We'll just stick with the Packers side. Emmanuel Wilson, 8 carries, 38 yards, that long and 9. Amar Johnson, 8 carries for 26 yards. Malik Willis, 2 carries for 19 yards. He looked really good scrambling, by the way. There was a couple of times he made some crucial – both those runs I felt like were in a crucial situation for sure. Chris Brooks, 4 carries for 15 yards, just under 4 yards a pop. McCole Hardman had that one end around or jet sweep for 14 yards. Tyrion Davis-Price, 5 carries, 14 yards. Izzy, 6 carries, 9 yards. I don't think he makes it. I don't. I think it's Amar Johnson on the practice squad. Izzy might make the practice squad. He has 0 shot of making 50 points. So.
Yeah, and with that fumble there from Izzy, that's kind of tough on him. You lose that there, but I'm just super happy with the backs that we have. I mean, Josh Jacobs, just looking at the numbers, early grade of a 69.8 from his 1 5-yard run. But dude, did you see how strong he ran there? I mean, it was his legs just churn. It's like a machine when he gets the ball. I'm not worried really about our running game.
Yeah, I see everybody saying the mock is doing it again. I'm looking at the test.
It's back now. It's once in a while. It's kind of when you turn away, sort of thing. Looks just.
Okay. I'm gonna have to get a Hans device like NASCAR so it keeps my head. Just stationary here. We'll
just upgrade the mic. We'll get Mandy on there.
Everybody's now they're saying it sounds like I'm in a submarine. Love it. All right, I'm gonna hold the mic up here like the old school here. Look at this. You kidding me?
Oh, there we go.
How do we sound now?
Now we sound crispy, yeah.
Now we sound like a real redneck. All right, receiving. Matthew Golden, 1 catch for 39 yards on 2 targets. Izzy Abanaconda, 2 catches for 13 yards, caught both targets. I mean, that's a positive. Julian Hicks, 3 catches for 12 yards. Malik Heath and Amar Johnson both had 1 catch for 10 yards. Not a whole lot to talk about there. You have Will Shepherd with the touchdown catch. So Will Shepherd was targeted how many times? 2 times, had that 1 catch. Of course, it was a 3-yard touchdown catch. Fumbles, Izzy fumbling definitely didn't help his chances. I know he recovered it, but look at the fumble recoveries too. Ball King working, Emilio, right?
Absolutely.
You got Aaron Mosby fumble recovery, Kingsley Nibari fumble recovery, Corey Ballantyne fumble recovery, and Kalen King with 1 as well. You love to see that. In terms of tackles, we talked about Isaiah Simmons with 7 tackles. Jamin Johnson with 5 tackles, 4 solo, and a tackle for a loss. Christian Welch, 4 tackles, 3 solo, 1 for a loss. Jonathan Baldwin with 4 tackles. Tyron Hopper, 3 tackles, 1 for a loss. Deslin Alexander had a tackle for a loss as well. Look at Brenton Cox Jr., 2 tackles for a loss, Emilio. And he had a sack, right? So, in terms of the sacks, you had Tyron Hopper, Deslin Alexander, Brenton Cox Jr., and Quay Walker all with sacks.
I think there's one more. Scroll down.
We had Devontae O'Malley, the newcomer.
O'Malley out there getting his name on the board. I love that.
There you go. All right, so there are your sacks. Obviously, no interceptions. We threw 1 interception. That Malik Willis.
But being +4 in the turnover differential is
that right? So we lost the interception, right? Lost the interception, and we recovered 4. So we were +3, right? Am I thinking right? Because Izzy's was one we fumbled and
right.
recovered.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Sorry.
So +3. That'll win you the ball game about 96% of the time, probably, right? So there you go. And then in terms of returns, McCole Hardman 1 for 10 yards. These are punt returns. Will Shepherd 2 punt returns. I didn't realize that. So maybe they're trying to see if there's some added value there. And then of course no kick returns for us. Brandon McManus, 2 for 2 on field goals with a long of 52, hit both extra points as well. Daniel Whelan, what else is there you could say, man? 67 yards on the long, 6 punts, 345 yards of punt
Just
yards.
a freak. Look at the difference. The Seahawks had a guy, Michael Dickinson, 6 punts, 284 yards. We have Daniel Whelan, 6 punts, 345, almost 350 yards. I mean, you're talking 16, I mean, over 55, 60 yards more. I mean, that's a whole nother possession with just his leg.
Yep. Dave in the chat says Clayton went from Sebastian from Little Mermaid to the Beverly Hillbillies with that Mike Swift. That's a pretty accurate assessment of the situation, I believe. So, all right, I think that's it. Amelia, you got anything else, man? I think we covered everything. The chat, you guys have been awesome. Thank y'all so much. And again, if you guys would hit like, hit subscribe, really appreciate y'all taking the time to make us part of your post-game festivities here.
Absolutely. If you enjoyed, please go ahead and check us out on patreon.com/Packer Fan Total Access. If you like the show, if not, go ahead and hit next and keep on moving, but hit like on your way out. But yeah, if you're trying to get into some of the, some talk, kind of like how we have in the chat here, live chat, we got everybody in chats there. We're going to go over chalk talks, film breakdowns. Clayton puts up an article basically daily over there just to kind of break it down, cut through. And yeah, you can also get questions for the show. So instead of, just super chats, you can also get that in there too. So appreciate everybody joining.
Definitely another added perk too. Anyone who's a member of the Patreon group, at least the $3 tier, we do giveaways. Tomorrow evening on the evening show, we're going to be doing an LVN rookie card autographed, right? We're going to be giving that away. So the way it works, anybody who's a member of the $3 tier on Patreon, we put your name on the wheel, spin that sucker. If it lands on your name, you're going to get an autographed Lucas Van Ness rookie card that was donated by our awesome listener, Rick Kruger, earlier this year. So Elder Grimm in the chat, hit like or Joe Barry will be our next head coach next year. So make sure everybody hits that like, please. I want to give a shout out to everybody in the chat here. Chris the Casual, Ian, Clint the Armchair Quarterback, Badger Trio, Godsmack, Solder several times. Appreciate you, H.E. Solder. Gaylord with the super chat as well. Thank y'all so much for the extra support there. And listen, it's very kind for people to do super chats and be a member of the Patreon group and all the stuff, the ways that we got that you can support us here at PTA. But I want to make sure we're crystal clear. If you haven't donated a dime, we appreciate you too. Just you taking the time to hit like and be subscribed to the channel and contributing to the chat. It's why we call it Packer Fan Total Access. It's just a place for all the fans to come, get their opinions heard, and us try to dissect this thing and see exactly what's going on with the Packers on the table. So Michael's gone again. I'm getting out.
Yeah, appreciate all the super chats because Clayton's going to go on here and order his next Temu mic right after we get off here because that thing, I think Mandy dumped it in a bucket of water before you got on today.
Unbelievable. What happened to this thing?
No, it's in and out, man. I think the wire's going or something. Lincoln got chewing on it or maybe he got hungry. And
I'm going to go get a mic. The one thing I can't stand, though, is those people that's got the mic right here. You know what I mean? The whole show, it's just their face is covered like Wilson. You know what I mean? I can't stand it.
Yeah, it's like I'm over here trying to talk into this, but I don't, you
Elder
can't
Grimm.
even see it.
Elder Grimm, a Mike Parsons. All right, that's enough. Tin Can Clay. Man, I'm going to change my Twitter handle to Tin Can Clay.
That would actually be hilarious.
Sounds like a banjo player in a gospel band or something.
Seriously.
Let's go.
Yeah, man, I can't wait to hear the updates from Jacob and Tim too, man, being there in person. Nice day, beautiful game. Excited to see it.
If Jacob makes it back home without going to the clink, it's going to be a successful night. That's all I can say. So,
we'll take that.
All right. And Gaylord says, nice to make a live show. It's almost time. Let's go, Pack. Yes, amen to that. So thank you, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow. I set a goal tonight. Did we hit our goal?
7 out of 10, 70%. That's passing, though. I'll take that. C's get degrees, man.
That is passing. All right, we'll do some sort of morning show tomorrow. We'll jump in here and have a little bit of a morning show. It'll probably be somewhere around 10 or 11 o'clock Eastern time, I would imagine. So, Again, everybody would hit that like button on the way out. If this is your first time tuning in to the PTA post-game show, we really appreciate you making us a part of your evening. Hit subscribe, hit like, click that bell icon so you know when we go live. Everybody have a wonderful evening. As always, if you can hear me right now, Let's go out and be the change we want to see in the world, and go Pack.
Here we go.
We're out. Bye, guys.